any reason for concern for the top three in the East?
Hell yeah, it's some reason for concern, especially if you're the Boston Celtics. And I said this last week again when I was holding it down, Molly, for UNSA. If I'm the Boston Celtics, I'm praying that I don't see the Miami Heat in the first round. Just remember, we have to remind people, the world, Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy Butler, is a difference maker. The Jimmy Butler that I seen walk into the Garden and drop, I believe what it was, 46 in a game 6 and take it to a game 7 was a 3-point shot away from actually sending Boston home. When I look at the Miami Heat and I look at Bam Adebayo and what he's been doing, and now I'm starting to see the culture and the chemistry starting to come together. I'm watching what happened last night with the OGUD. You have to be careful when you're dealing with a team like that at the 7th seed. You have to be careful when you got an experienced head coach in Eric Spoelstra and you have Joe Mazzulla, who's his first time making a run at it. You have to be careful with these type of situations. And if I'm Boston, I've been getting text messages, from my good friend Wick Grossbeck, and he's very upset with me right now. But guess what? At the end of the day, I don't give a damn. I'm getting paid to do my job and tell unbiased opinions. And I just don't want the Celtics to match up with the Miami Heat come this postseason in the first round.
Well, as an aside before I get into my point of view, what's Wick upset at you about?
Oh, he said I gave him fuel. He said I gave him motivation.
Oh, okay.
He said I gave him motivation.
All right, well, that's just he's just talking. He should be upset at people like me. You understand what I'm saying? Who's still ticked off at the Boston Celtics and how they handled the whole Ime Udoka situation. That's what he should be upset about, as a disgrace. But anyway, that's another subject for another day. Let me say this. I have no concerns for the top 3 seeds whatsoever. Zero. I'm not worried. Listen, I'm sorry. I just don't. Listen, I don't feel good about Miami this year. I mean, when I saw Udonis Haslem on the last night of the regular season playing away, major props to him. Wish him nothing but the best. He's somebody I personally feel should have been in the front office years ago instead of in uniform on the bench. That's just my personal opinion. But it was nice to see them celebrate and honor him. It's the first good thing I've had to say about Miami all year. I just haven't been pleased with what I've been seeing. They've been a roller coaster as far as I'm concerned. This team that went to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, vastly underachieved. Now, you know me too long, Kendrick Perkins. You know me well enough to know I don't root against the Miami Heat. You know why. I mean, that is understood universally across the globe.
Mr. LA,
I don't root against Miami. I'm always rooting for Miami to get to June, to play for as long as they can for my own personal reasons, and I ain't apologizing for it. But they have given me no reason to believe that they'll be playing past April. I know Jimmy Butler can play and has had a better season than people give him credit for. But they have been a roller coaster. They just haven't had it as far as I'm concerned. And I don't expect them to be a problem for Boston. I certainly don't expect Brooklyn to be a problem for Philly. And I damn sure don't expect the 8th seed to be a problem for Milwaukee. So my point to you is this. I'm not worried about any of the top 3 teams in the East. They will be in the second round. They will be in the semifinals of the Eastern Conference. It's that simple.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
I mean,
unless Kendrick Perkins, they get distracted on road games. Now, that I can't believe. Outside of that, they'll be all right.
You've had your concerns too, right? When it comes down to Joe Mazzulla, right? When it comes down to seeing what he's going to bring to the table.
As the playoffs progress. As the playoffs progress, yes.
Yeah, seeing what he's going to bring to the table. See, I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at how they lost Damon Stoudemire, by the way, well-deserved. He got the head coach's job, I believe it was at Georgia Tech. I'm looking at how he lost him off the bench, who was actually one of those guys that had that relationship with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to hold him accountable to an aspect and allow Joe Mazzulla to be the best version of him.
Yo, Kendrick, what the hell is up with Jaylen Brown getting his hand hurt, messing with plants? What the hell was he doing? Gardening? How? Nah, that's a cause for concern. I forgot about that.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what he was doing, but I do know this. Again, I'm going to tell you, they got to stay away from the Miami Heat. If I'm the Celtics, I do not want to see the Miami Heat in the first round. I'm telling you this.
They
That's
can make it interesting, but they going home. They're not beating the Boston Celtics in a 7-game series, in my estimation. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Not this Miami Heat team this year.
They're giving Perk pause. What's the more intriguing matchup? Clippers, Suns, Warriors, Kings.
Well, let me ask y'all a question.
Okay.
Y'all believe that Ty Lue is a smart individual, right? Believe he's a hell of a coach. You know what he's doing, right, Stephen A?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, cool. So I look at 36 and I look at 40. Those were the minutes that Kawhi Leonard and Russell Westbrook played last night. So I'm wondering why. Because that game wouldn't have mattered if they would have lost. They still would have been in the playoffs, and they would have dropped to the 6th seed, and they would have been playing Sacramento in the first round. That goes to show me that Ty Lue actually want the smoke, and the Clippers want the smoke with the Suns. So when I look at the Clippers and Suns, and yes, we know how spectacular KD is, and we know what Devin Booker been doing for us, getting busy around the league this second part of the season. But when I look at the Clippers, even without Paul George, I look at wing defenders. I look at Kawhi. I look at Nicholas Batum. I'm looking at Norman Powell, who's getting buckets, but can defend on the other end as well. I'm looking at guys like Bone Holland and Trey Mann, and I'm looking at what Russell Westbrook is doing. They are deep. Big Zubac and Big Plumlee down there, anchor in the middle. I'm looking forward to this matchup. And to be honest with you, I actually got the Clippers winning this series because they want the smoke. There's no way in hell if they didn't, or if Ty Lue if he wouldn't feel comfortable, there's no way he would have played Kawhi Leonard 36 minutes last night and Russell Westbrook 40 minutes. He sees something. He knows something. So with that being said, the trust that I have in him, along with the depth that the Phoenix Suns have, I'm looking forward to this matchup, and I got the Clippers knocking out the Suns.
Was there not a possibility that the Clippers could have ended up in the play-in? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that was the case. But I'll get back to you on that because I know you got to get your earpiece back up in there. Here's the deal. The most intriguing matchup to me is the Warriors versus the Sacramento Kings. See, at some point in time, we're going to have to put some respect on the Sacramento Kings name. Sacramento Kings is #1 offense in the NBA. De'Aaron Fox can ball. Sabonis can ball. Very proud of what I've seen from Malik Monk this year. Kendrick Perkins reminded me that Harrison Barnes is on the squad. Keegan Murray can ball. He's a rookie. He's an all-rookie prospect. This brother can play. And Mike Brown is unquestionably the coach of the year. It's not even up for debate. Mike Brown is the coach of the year. Okay? So you got Sacramento and Golden State within an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half. It's just a bus ride. They ain't got a flight. It's a bus ride, okay? Yeah. Got them within an hour and a half of each other, right? We've got the top two offenses in basketball going up against each other. Sacramento's got like a 24th defensive rating or whatever it is, all right? So I'm like, Golden State gonna put up some buckets. Sacramento damn sure gonna put up some buckets. Things are gonna get very, very interesting. The operative word here is intriguing. Anybody ask for predictions? The question is, what's the most intriguing matchup? And I look at Sacramento against Golden State, particularly when Golden State were not 11 games, were they 11 and 30 on the road this year? They could go on the road and get beat by anybody. That's what they've been showing us. Sacramento with that offense can beat anybody. So I look at it from that perspective. I look at Mike Brown being a former assistant of Steve Kerr. I look at Steph Curry going up against De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox anxious to prove this brother's legit been mired in Sacramento basketball purgatory. They ain't been relevant for 2 decades since the days of C. Webb and Peja Stojakovic and Vlade Divac and all of them brothers and Mike Bibby. Let me not forget him. And all of a sudden, now here you come. Can't forget my man Bobby Jackson either from that squad that went to the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers at the turn of the century. I'm just looking at Sacramento and Golden State. When we talk about some exciting basketball, I'm looking forward to it. Kendrick Perkins, I would be with you. if Paul George was healthy. If Paul George was healthy. But with him not healthy, I'm not as intrigued, number one. I'm not saying it's not intriguing, but I'm not as intrigued, number one. And number two, I ain't picking them to beat KD and Devin Booker. I'm thinking the Phoenix Suns are not only going to take them out, I think they're going to take them out 6 games.
No, you do?
Yes.
Well, I feel sorry for your loss. But you're not reminding nobody.
I didn't feel sorry for your loss. You were wrong last year.
That's one of my favorite
I didn't throw that line at you. That's all right. That's okay.
That's one of my favorite Kendrick Perkins lines.
That's fine.
I love that line.
No. My all-time favorite. My all-time favorite line with Kendrick Perkins is when he brought up Hennessy or Jack Daniels. He said it doesn't matter. It's still gonna get you drunk. Now that had me cracking up. That's what I like.
No.
Those are the lines I like from Kendrick Perkins.
I'm sorry for your loss.
All right.
Carry on.
Carry on. But go ahead, man.
But this is what I'm saying. I've been respecting the Sacramento Kings. That's why I actually got them going to the Western Conference Finals. But when I look at the matchup and I look at Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant, that's intriguing. That's very intriguing. When I look at Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul, that's intriguing. It's a lot going on there. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot going on there. And Russell Westbrook is the guy right now who I believe is on a mission to prove the world wrong because of what he's been through the last year and a half.
I agree with that.
Okay, again, I'm looking at Kawhi Leonard and I'm looking at Kevin Durant. Every time those brothers match up, they give us something good to look forward to and good to watch. So if that's not intriguing, I don't know what intriguing is. When I look at Ty Lue and Monty Williams going head-to-head and they match up, that's intriguing. That's intriguing. Two African-American coaches with a high basketball IQ that's got superstar power that's about to go out there and make it happen. Again, the Clippers shouldn't have won the game last night. What was they playing for?
With Paul George hurt, I'm not as intrigued. They're 24, They're 24 and 14 with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard on the court together. When they're not on the court, the Clippers are a 16 and 15 squad. And I just look at it from the standpoint, I'm like, all right, I got you. I hear where you're coming from, but I think you need both Paul George and Kawhi Leonard for the Clippers to win this series. You don't have Paul George. He's not going to be 100%, assuming he does come back.
Yeah.
I'm not picking them to beat KD. And we talk about KD. Devin Booker is special. I would remind everybody of that. He's special. You the Clippers, you don't have to deal with that brother too.
They got the players.
Yeah.
They had the personnel.
Kawhi and Paul George played 38 games together this season. By the way, they could have fallen into the play-in.
And by the way, if you're the Suns,
Did you hear
the way
me?
you lost, I know that.
Really?
Yeah, they could have. We had research checked.
They could have fallen to the play-in, Kendrick Perkins. It's all right. I got it.
They did have something to play for.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's a long story. But they could have fallen into the play-in.
I thought they because
NBA countdown.
I thought they held the tiebreaker between the Lakers. My bad. Okay.
All right, don't worry about it. It's all right.
It's all right.
Make mistakes, no big deal. That's what I said. Let's move on. But in the end of the day, let me say this about the Phoenix Suns. Mm-hmm. You can't get blown out the way they did in Game 7 against Dallas in the conference semifinals last season. Acquire KD the following season and then go home in the first round. That would not be good. Not at all, KP. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.